Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again for allowing us to be a part of your life every day as we read through the Bible now for the third time together. Again, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life. I'd like us to go back to the book of Matthew today, chapter 8 and chapter 9, and begin to look at the life of Jesus for just a moment. When we get to verse 28, the scripture says, "When he arrived at the other side in the region of the Gadarenes, 2 demon-possessed men were coming from the tombs, and they met him. They were so violent that no one else could pass by that way. 'What do you want with us, Son of God?' they shouted. 'Have you come to torture us before the appointed time?'" First of all, I'd like you to notice Jesus was not afraid of demons. Now, everybody else would avoid that area because these men were violent, but Jesus did not walk in fear of man, and Jesus did not walk in fear of demons. Instead, the demons feared Jesus. "Have you come to torture us before their time?" Yes, they understood the prophetic times, and they understood their seasons on this earth, and they understood a future time in which they would all be cast into hell for all eternity. They understood their futures. They understood their prophetic calendar. But Jesus already, even before the cross, did not walk in fear of demons. So when you ask, how did Jesus treat demons? He didn't pay any attention to them. They were not relevant to his life. This was something that he dealt with, but it was not a priority of his life. Secondly, you find people rejecting Jesus. The people there of the Gadarenes said, "Would you please leave?" So when people did not want Jesus around, when Jesus felt rejection, Jesus left. Every one of us in our life is going to be rejected. Now, it doesn't feel good, yes, I admit, but if Jesus was rejected by people, forgive me, how much more will you and I be rejected by people? Rejection is a part of life. We don't walk around and cry in our disappointment. We just move on. So Jesus just moved on from the Gadarenes. But then Jesus also responded to faith in chapter 9 when Jesus saw their faith. They brought a man paralyzed and laid him at Jesus' feet. Jesus responded to faith. But also, I want us just to back up a little bit and understand that Jesus also responded to the teachers of the law. Said at this, some of the teachers of the law said to themselves, chapter 9, verse 3, "This fellow is blaspheming." Jesus, knowing their thoughts, Jesus confronted them. Now, notice here a sequence. Jesus was not afraid of demons and treated them as irrelevant. Jesus responded to rejection by just moving on, just like each of us has to. Jesus responds to faith by forgiveness and a miracle. And Jesus responds to bad attitudes that would hinder other people from receiving ministry by confrontation. He confronted them. Knowing their thoughts, Jesus said. Jesus confronted them. We live in a Christian world today in which people are more political than they are pastor. People are more polite than they are honest. At some point as leaders, we have to learn to confront the attitudes of people. How will they ever grow? How will they ever change if we're not willing to confront them? So a little confrontation is necessary.